welcome to another green marble crochet tutorial. For this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a granny square like this, and then I'm going to be finishing up this bag that I'm making, so I'm going to go through that with you using these yarns, obviously, which are Living Colour. Got them from a bazaar close by a while ago, and I used one of them for making a seashell at the beach tutorial type thing, and yeah, then they just were left sitting in a bag and I found them, which is exciting because, you know, more yarn. Can't go out and get some, so I've been having to take apart some things and, you know, prepare for this and that. Anyway, so that's fun. So I'm going to be doing that. So because the spaces between these granny squares are kind of annoyingly big, I don't know whether you can see that, so just there, I'm going to be using some buttons that I actually used for a cardigan, but I'm taking that cardigan apart because I never wear it and I need yarn. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'm using these blue sort of mother of pearl buttons, which I'm going to stick on there. It's going to look lovely, it's going to look really cute, and I'm really excited. So this is a cute, happy, we're going to call it the watermelon summer bag that I'll be using this summer. Yeah, we're going to do that. It's very exciting, so I'm going to talk you through that. I have a bolero tutorial coming up after this, which I'm going to get started on. I've had enough of a break from making that, coming up with that design. It was, yeah, it's quite an experience. It's not easy coming up with that kind of thing. We learn as we go, and I'm happy I stuck with it because I'm kind of happy with the design. It's excellent. Also, I hope you enjoyed my last video, which was the making a ring using wire and beads. I had obviously more wire left over, so I made a cheeky solitaire, just like that, just to go with, you know, stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. I don't really think there's much more I can say. For this tutorial, I'm using my 3.5mm hook. Alright, we should just get straight into making this granny square and attaching it to the bag. Also, I forgot to mention just quickly, I'll be linking my Patreon in the description below. I do have some things that I'm going to be coming up with for Patreon as well, so just if you want to help support the channel, that would be really awesome. I'd really appreciate it. There's a lot more coming up, as I always say, and yeah, like I said, there'll be some extra features for people who join Patreon with me. Yes, okay. And I'll talk about those coming up once I've worked out the logistics and everything. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And it's something I'm going to be working really hard on as well, so I'm looking forward to it. It's very exciting. Let's get started. Alright, now to begin, let's move everything aside. We're going to start with the green and finding the end of the green yarn, trying not to get it tangled up, which we just did. Ooh, how annoying. Alright, so finding the end of the green yarn, we make a magic circle. So we're just going to do this, and we're not going to do a really big tail because I'm trying to waste as little yarn as possible. So to make a magic circle, we sort of fold it over our finger like this. Okay. And then cross it round like this, and then go in under that first part, pull that part up round through there, and then grab like this. Now chain up 2 from that, so 1 and 2. Now we're going to be putting 15 double crochets into that magic circle. So the double crochet is yarn over, insert hook through loop, yarn over, pick up a loop, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to do 15 of those because the chain 2 is going to act as the 16th stitch. So I'll meet you when we've done 15 Alright, here I am at 15. Now my next step is to take this end just here and pull that circle tight. So pull the circle tight, and then we're going to be slip stitching into the top of the chain 2. So let's focus a little better. And slip stitch into the top of that first chain 2, just like this. So slip stitching to join the circle. Alright, now that we've joined the circle, we're going to chain 1, and straight from there we're going to trim off the yarn. And I only trim a little bit because I like to weave my ends. Hang on, I'll show you just like this. I'm just going to trim a little bit because I like to weave my ends in as I go. Which might be, you don't have to do that, you can weave everything in afterwards. So once you've trimmed that yarn, just pull the yarn through the stitch like that. Pull it tight, just like that. Now we're going to change to the pink colour. Alright, so grabbing your pink yarn, you're going to make a slip knot. And like I said, I like to weave in the ends as I go, so I'm making that tail quite short, but you don't have to do that. You can weave your ends in afterwards and do it as you go. Anyway, so what we do now is we grab our ring of 15 double crochets and 1 chain of 2. So 16 stitches around, and I'm gonna count a couple over from where we tied off, and I'm gonna insert my hook into that stitch just there. So inserting my hook into that stitch, I'm gonna pull through the slip knot that I've made with the pink yarn. So just pull that through, and pull that tight, a little bit tight, just like that, and I'm going to chain up 2, so 1 and 2. And what we're going to do now is we're going to make puff stitches into all the 16 stitches around. So to make a puff stitch, that is yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull it fairly long, just like that. Okay, and then once again we yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and again 3 times, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and there'll be 7 loops on the hook. Then we yarn over and we pull through all 7 loops, just like that. Then we chain 1, and we're going to be chaining 1 in between every puff stitch. So let's do it one more time together. Yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop. So you're doing it 3 times for 7 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 7 loops, chain 1. So do that 16 times around, and I'll meet back up with you and tell you where to go from there. Alright, here we are at the end of that ring of puff stitches. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch into the top of that chain 2 once again. So slip stitching, just like that. And then we're going to chain 1, and once again you're going to trim off that yarn just there. So trimming off that yarn, like I said, I'm not doing it long, and just pull the yarn through that loop, pull it tight. So there you go. There you've got the second round. Alright, now to do the third round, we're going to grab our green yarn again, and finding the end of that, we're going to make a slip knot, just like that, making a slip knot. Now, picking up our circle, we're going to count 2 puffs along, so 1, 2, and you're going to insert your hook between the puffs. So we're not going into the stitches now, we're going to go between the puffs. So, going between that puff, 2 puffs along, we're going to pull up our slip knot, pull it tight, and then once again we're going to chain 2. Now we're going to be doing a stitch that I'm pretty sure is called shell stitch. If I'm wrong, then please feel free to correct me. I love to learn new things. Alright, so what we do for this stitch is we yarn over, we insert through that puff, we pull up a loop, Then we yarn over and we pull through 2 loops only. Then once again, yarn over, insert back into the puff, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops again. So you've got 4 loops on your chain for this first shell stitch, but you're going to have 4 parts to the stitch, and that's what you want. So for this, we yarn over and we pull through all stitches. Then we chain 2, and moving on to the next space between the next 2 puffs, we're going to yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to be doing this 4 times because we want 4 parts to that stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then one more time for the 4th part of that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. So you've got 4 parts of that stitch, but there'll be 5 loops on the hook. So that'll be for the rest of the stitches. You'll just be doing it like that. Okay, so again, chain 2, and there'll be 2 chains between each of these stitches. So let's just do that again quickly. So 1 and 2. Grab some more yarn, and then 3 and 4. Yarn over, pull through 5. Chain 2. So do that for all in between parts of the puff stitches, and I'll meet back up with you at the end and show you where to go from there. Okay, now that I've completed all those shell stitches with chain 2s between all of them, a chain of 2 between all, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the original chain 2, just like this, slip stitch to close the circle. There we go. Now just chain another one, and as I said, we just trim off that yarn and pull the thread through that stitch and pull it tight, just like that. Now, I just realized that in case you want to join your granny squares differently to the way that I join mine, I'm going to show you first how to complete the granny square without joining it to the back, because the way I join my granny squares is by stitching them together, if you know what, well, you'll see what I mean when I do it. But first, before I do that, I'm going to show you how to complete this without joining it to anything. So what we do is we get out the pink again, because we're going back to pink, and we're going to make a slip knot, making a slip knot, and then picking up our circle, we go 2 stitches along, so 2 puffs along, and insert into the center of those 2 puffs, shell stitches, and then pull our slip knot tight-ish, and then chain up 3, so 1 and 2 and 3. Now what we do from here is we are going to do triple stitches for the corners. So because this is the first stitch corner, we're going to do 2 triple stitches just here after this chain, because this chain is going to act as one of the stitches. So to do a triple stitch, you yarn over once, yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through 2. So yarning over and pulling through 2 3 times for a triple stitch. So again, yarn over once, yarn over twice, and then insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and once again, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's the first half of that corner. Now moving on, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to move on to the next between bit. the next middle bit between those two shells there. So yarn over, and we're going to be doing double crochets. So 3 double crochets into that chain space. So 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets into that chain space just there. Now, moving on to the next chain space along, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. So to do a half double crochet, that is yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, but then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's 1 and 2 and 3. Then moving on to the next chain space, we're going to do 3 more double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3. Then moving on to the next chain space, we're going to be doing a corner. So we're going to be doing 3 triple crochets. So 1 triple crochet, grab some more yarn, 2 triple crochet, and 3 triple crochet. And then to do the corner, we chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then back into that same chain space, we're going to do 3 more triple crochets. So 1, and my camera just cut out annoyingly, so we're in the middle of doing this corner, just like this, and then 1 more triple crochet to finish that corner. And there you've done one side of the granny square. And you're just going to be doing each side like that. So into the next chain space is 3 double crochets. And 3. Then moving on to the next chain space along, it's 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then after that, it will be moving on to the next chain space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then doing the corner again. So that's 3 triple crochets followed by 3 chains and then 3 more triple crochets. And you're going to do that until you get to this last corner just here, and I'll meet back up with you then and show you how to finish up that corner. Alright, here I am at the last corner. So what I'm going to do is put 3 triple crochets into that chain space. So 1, 2, and 3. I think my camera is about to die again. One moment. Alright, so there we go. I've done my 3 more triple crochets. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the top of the original chain 2. So slip stitching, just like this. And that joins the granny square. So that's how you would do it, and then you would chain 1, trim off the yarn and pull the thread through that stitch. Yeah, so that's how you would do it if you were going to join it your own way. So maybe you want to sew the granny squares together. Yeah, that's the way you can do it. But for the benefit of this tutorial, right, so having already completed one side of the square, let's turn this a bit, we're going to, and I've already done 3 triple crochets into the first corner just there, followed by a chain of 3, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be completing the square by crocheting it into the other squares. So I'm tilting the camera down a little so that you can see what I mean. Tilting it down. Now, to do that, we yarn over, and we're going to start another triple crochet into that corner. So, oh no, sorry, triple crochet. So that's yarn over twice, and we're going to do pull through two, but leave those last two, because moving to the corner on this square just here, we're going to find the first triple crochet or stitch just there on that square, so that one just there. Insert your hook into the stitch above that, triple crochet, and then yarn over with the yarn of this triple crochet, pull the yarn through that stitch, and then also through the two last loops of that triple crochet for that square. So once again, yarning over twice, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, then moving on to the next stitch along on that granny square. I hope you can see what I mean. Moving on to that next stitch along on the granny square, insert your hook into that next stitch along, then pull the yarn through that stitch and through both loops, the last two loops of the triple crochet. So that's how you do it. You yarn over, pull through two, then moving on to the next stitch along, pull the yarn through that stitch and then through the last two loops of that, and then you just move on to the next chain space where you'll be putting your double crochet, but you double crochet, yarn over, pull through two, and then you move on to the next stitch along on the other granny square, insert your hook. This might seem a little complicated. I just like to do it like this because, I don't know, I just think it looks nice. Pull through two, moving on to the next stitch along, so that one just there, pull yarn through both stitches. And that's how I go around doing the entire joins. So I'll be joining and then once you get to the next corner, you obviously have triple crochets into the corresponding triple crochets on that granny square. Then you'll chain three and I'll be moving on to the next one just here. So I'll actually meet back up with you in this corner and I'll show you how I start joining onto the next granny square. I thought I should just tell you that for the half double crochets, obviously, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop through there, then move on to the corresponding stitch in the other square, pull your yarn through all three stitches and also the corresponding stitch. So once again, yarn over, through chain space, pull up a loop, and then insert hook through corresponding stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all three of those loops. That's just for the half double crochet. Alright, meet you in a second. Alright, here I am, and I've done my three triple crochets into that first corner. Now, from there, I'm going to chain three, so 1, 2, 3, and then moving on to the square just here. So hang on, is that tilted down enough? Yeah. So moving straight on, and it's just the same. It's triple crochet again into that corner, but don't complete the triple crochet. Leave the last two loops because you're going to pick up that corner just there. Always making sure the yarn is on that side. Pick up that corner just there and insert your hook into the first stitch of the corresponding triple crochet and pull the yarn through, and then both loops, those two last loops. So yeah, that's how that goes. That's how I do this, and that's how I'm doing my bag. But like I said, you don't have to do this and I'll understand if you don't want to, because it's fiddly and annoying. But I don't know, I just enjoy doing it this way. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I'll meet back up with you soon. And I'll talk about how I'm going to do the lining for my bag, because it's definitely got enough holes that I wouldn't want to keep anything like money or small things in it. Anyway, yes, I'll meet you back soon and we'll talk about the lining.